I made this quick video to give you 5 ways to tell if you are compatible or not with your partner. And stick around to the end because the last one is the #1 red flag to look out for when you're trying to decide if you're compatible with someone. So let's jump right into it. Compatibility is absolutely essential in a long-term relationship. It is literally impossible to have a successful relationship in the long term without actually being compatible. It doesn't even matter how much you guys love each other, it's just not going to work if you guys don't match on these key things. And here's a key disclaimer: compatibility does not necessarily mean similar. You can be different than your partner in some things, as long as those things are complementary to each other and not just completely opposite and different. You don't want to be different in ways that are not complementary. If you're interested in that, I'll link to another video below where I dive deeper into if you are actually just different than your partner or if your differences are really complementary to each other. Now let's get into way to tell #1, which is, do you have similar interests and hobbies? Now this one is a little different because it's not 100% necessary. However, it does make things a little easier. By having shared interests or hobbies with someone, it's definitely going to make it easier to spend more time together. I mean, obviously, if you guys both love playing tennis, then you're going to have something to do together all the time. So think about if you do have any interests or hobbies that you actually share with your partner. But for this one, it's actually okay if you don't have a specific hobby that is the same, as long as you're willing to participate a little bit and make an effort in your partner's interests. For instance, my boyfriend really loves to play golf, and I'm just really not interested in perfecting my golf swing, but I do like to relax in the sunshine, and golf courses are really nice, so I will actually go with him occasionally and just watch him on the driving range, bring a chair, sit in the shade, or even go out on the golf cart with him around the course and just relax with a drink. And that way we're still spending time together and I'm still participating in his interest, but I'm not actually playing golf because I'm not particularly interested in it. And that's okay. So for this first way, it's okay if you don't line up exactly, as long as you are willing to put in a little bit of effort on this one. #2 is lifestyle choices. Now this one is a little more important. Consider what you actually like in your lifestyle choices, like diet, exercise, leisure activities. Think about the way that you like to live your everyday life. Do you like to go out to eat all the time? Do you like to go out on the weekends, bars, restaurants, live music? Or are you more of a homebody who likes to eat in more often? These lifestyle preferences will definitely make it very difficult if your partner and you are completely opposite on this. Even think about how you like to spend your evenings after work. For example, I had an ex in the past, and we totally had different leisure activity preferences for after work during the week. Me, I love to cuddle on the couch, watch a movie or a few shows with my partner, and I consider that quality time because we're watching something together and enjoying it together, and it's very relaxing for me. Now, my partner at the time, he really loved to play video games, and for him, it was not just a hobby, it was actually his leisure activity that he needed to relax after work. Now, this became a problem because it's obviously not relaxing for me to play a video game when I'm not someone who's into video games, and he was not someone who liked to relax and watch a movie after work. We really had completely different leisure preferences for after work during the work week. So the result was we actually barely spent time together during the week. And even if one of us made an effort to spend some time doing what the other person enjoyed, it's not something that's going to last in the long run, because these are daily lifestyle preferences. These are not just hobbies that we're talking about. So this is a lot more important. So think about this kind of thing when it comes to your partner. What do you see him doing when he gets off work? What do you like to do when you get off work? How about the weekends? What do you like to do for your daily diet? Are you guys wanting to go to the gym together, or do you like to relax and watch movies together? If you're different on this, it might pose a problem in the long run. Okay, #3, do you have shared values? Now, when we're talking about shared values, I'm talking about religion, family life, and even a cultural background. Now, it's okay to have a cultural background that is different or pasts that are different, but what do you want to do together moving forward? So think about if you have a specific stance on religion or spirituality, And if your partner does as well. What about being more family-oriented or career-oriented? How about now or in the next 10 years? And also think about your background and growing up. Do you see yourself raising kids in the same way? These questions are so extremely difficult and definitely something that you need to be discussing. But just remember, when you go into these kinds of conversations, if they have an answer that's different than yours, you have to just accept that because you can't change someone. So honor that difference and be glad that you're hearing about it sooner than later. And don't try to change them because you're just going to cause yourself more heartache in the long run. And if you're interested in the topic about whether or not to change your partner, I'll link to another video below where I dive deeper on that topic. So I've got one more way to tell if you are compatible or not with your partner before I get into the last one, which is the most important and the red flag to know if you are actually compatible with your partner or not. But real quick, if you're still watching, I just want to say thank you so much. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so that you make sure you see more. And leave a comment saying that you subscribed. This channel is going to get huge, so if you leave a comment now, you can actually say that you followed it before it exploded. And also, any questions that you might have, I'll make sure to respond to them with my advice. Now let's get into number 4, long-term goals. Think about, do you both want to settle down, or do you want to be focused on your careers? Do you want to travel extensively? What are your long-term goals 5 years from now, 10 years, 20 years from now? Are you both committed to growing your careers for the next 5 to 10 years? Or are you wanting to settle down sooner and start a family? So many people date for so long, even a year or more, before discussing these really important topics. And it just causes so much wasted time and effort when you finally realize that you actually have completely different long-term goals. So think about this for yourself and make sure that you're making the decision that really is for you and you're not just conforming to what your partner might want. Okay, we've made it to the number 1 red flag to look out for when you're trying to decide if you are compatible with someone or not. And this one is so incredibly important because you cannot continue in a long-term relationship without this. It might be able to continue for a little while, but it cannot last forever. So number 5 is communication styles in conflict. So pay attention to how both of you communicate to each other, especially when you're bothered by something. If you bring up something, how does he react? Is he automatically annoyed, or does he listen openly? And same thing goes for you. Are they open to hearing what you want to talk about without getting annoyed? Or do they react negatively when you say you want to talk? Does he shut down and become a brick wall? Or is he all the way on the other side of the spectrum and he's raising his voice? And you need to reflect on this for yourself as well. If you guys are not able to calmly communicate to each other without being completely reactive, then the relationship is not going to be able to last in the long run. Disagreements are always going to happen. It only matters on how both of you are able to react and resolve conflicts constructively. And you both need to feel comfortable discussing your feelings without the other person becoming reactive. Your partner and you should never be telling one another that it's not okay to feel the way that you feel in that moment. So there you have it, my top 5 ways to tell if you are compatible or not with your partner, and the number 1 red flag to look out for. Thank you guys for watching so much, and I will see you in the comments.